Okay. All right. So I met most of you guys, I think, last night, right? Anyone that wasn't here last night? Nice. All right. Good. Okay. So, as Rabbi Chase said, I'm going to go over some. I work with Bnei Noach, right? The first really question: why is that Shaykh or Nogeya? Comes up to a lot of when I speak to Yidden about this, right? And the answer is you're going to meet non-Jews in the world, and there's a lot more non-Jews interested in Judaism and Torah than you would think. So knowing just kind of what's going on is a big mila. For many reasons, hashkafically, it's interesting. My personal attraction to it is the Torah element of it is amazing. It's the most geschmack Torah that I've ever seen. So, I mean, I spoke with Rabbi Ginsburg that you guys are shtickle in a brisk here, right?
Yeah.
So the Brisker Rav is like the biggest Deya and the Achronim, late Achronim, in the Noahide world. Not many people would think that, right? It's like, you wouldn't think it's a Brisker Indian to get into Sheva Mitzvahs. And the Noahide world, unfortunately, doesn't recognize that yet. When I say recognize, I'm not talking halachically. They just don't know it. The guys that started the movement back like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was largely Chabad. And first of all, I mean, everyone's got their view on Chabad. I'm not Chabad, but people have different views of the Rebbe. And the Rebbe wrote a Sikha that nails the Sugya Ger Toshav. And I mean, like, nails it. Just like any other, the Chavetz Chaim, Mishnah Berurah, like classic Divrei Torah. But it wasn't like Chal. People didn't realize that was the Indian. So it got dumbed down a lot. And then it just kind of became a hokey kind of thing for a little while. I mean, it caught on. Rabbis bought into it. And it's universally accepted. But the depth, people don't recognize yet or realize how deep it really goes. And part of that was because the non-Jews involved were just coming out of their shtusim. So it wasn't shaykh, right? You guys know a lot more now than you did in second grade, I imagine, right? You tend to grow up and mature in life. So the non-Jews have matured a lot. And the Jews involved have learned and have had the opportunity to grow with it. So it's not static. It's a dynamic thing. And the Divrei Torah of it has been around since the beginning of time. It goes back to Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not new. So as we go deeper into the current status of society, Jews, non-Jews, and internet and correspondence, there's a reason to know it. There's an opportunity to know it. And in my personal opinion, there's a mila in knowing it. It really is a great mila. It's tremendous Torah. Fantastic. It's like brisk on steroids, if you like brisker stuff. So I prepared a lot today going into this on the deeper end, and then as I just sat down and really got my thoughts together, by the way, keep me focused on time, where we're at with time, yeah? I decided kind of where my notes were going to give you guys an overview and a taste of kind of the whole terrain, because it's extremely interesting. Again, it's like, imagine a bunch of Martians came, right? And they said, tell us about Judaism and Torah. And imagine they were really interested. I mean, it wasn't a joke. And you'd say, like, man, where do I start, right? And you'd give over like everything. So that's what it's like working with the non-Jews, because they're kosher at that point. They've left Avodah Zarah. They've come out of it. They're looking for emes at that point. And imagine they don't have bias on my Breslov, Chabad, Lidfish. They don't have opportunities to go to Israel and go to yeshiva. They're not Jewish. They're not going to shul. They can't go to a beis medrash. So they're limited, but at the same time, they're extremely open to just like, tell me emes, right? So it's an incredible opportunity. Again, where would you start? It's like, imagine going to a restaurant where like all your favorite food was there. What would you order? Right? You have that. I'm sure you've had that problem before. You go to a restaurant, you love everything on the menu. What are you gonna do? So here's just some of the issues that I'm thinking about. Yeah. All right. So you guys, you just finished your Seder of Ian, right? Oh, this is Bekias?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I pretend it was Seder of Ian. You had that in the morning, right?
Yeah.
All right, but Bekias works here too, because there's two kinds of people in this world, right? People that learn Be'iyun, people that learn Bekias. There's two kinds of Torah learning. Torah learning Be'iyun, Torah learning Bekias. I mean, to oversimplify and overgeneralize, right?
Right.
So I remember when I was back in yeshiva, the new guy would come in. A bunch of us had been there for a while, and the new guy, after about a couple weeks, and he has like his art scroll. He knows exactly what the Rashba said in the Rif, and he knows everything, right? You all know this guy, right? He comes in, he goes to Shiur, and all of a sudden he knows exactly what's going on, right? You guys with me?
Right.
So we used to call that 6 month smicha. He comes, so that's you see how it is in Bekias. It's a natural taiva, right? You learn fast, you learn a lot of stuff, and without going really into iyun, you kind of feel like you know what's going on, and you got to, like we were doing last night, you got to be a little bit intellectually honest with yourself. Do I really know what's going on? Am I right about this? Yeah. So there's one of the things that you'll hear, and again, these are things you hear all the time. A goy that learns Torah is chayiv miser. A goy that learns keep Shabbos is chayiv miser. You guys all heard this?
Yeah.
Is it true?
I think so.
Yeah, we kill him.
It says we don't kill him, but
so it's not true.
What's chayiv miser?
What does chayiv miser mean? So a lot of people that don't know will take it literally. I'm saying in the Noahide world. Again, I'm telling you. Let's extract ourselves from yeshiva for a second. Go into the Noahide world. You see what I'm saying? So we're in the Noahide world, and non-Jew Bob comes up, Rabbi, I want to learn Torah and keep Shabbos, whatever that means, right? First thing, the 6 month smicha will tell him, you're chayav misa. We're going to kill you if you do that. So already, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Number one, it's lav dafka. We know that. We're not going to kill him. Like you look in the Ein Yaakov, where it comes up in Shas, it's V'yadei Shemayim. So already, we're not killing anybody. Right? He's not chayav misa literally. He's chayav misa V'yadei Shemayim. So already it's got to take a different context, in a different terrain, in a different way. What is he chayav misa on? Go ahead, anybody.
What's the chayav misa on?
Yeah. The Talmud Torah. The guy that learns Torah is chayav misa.
I'm doing that.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
What'd he do?
From learning Torah, not part of Torah, Bnei Noach.
So what is he over? Geneva. He stole the Torah.
Is that what it actually is?
Yeah. You see the thinking? They have 7 mitzvahs. One of them is don't steal. He claims to not be stealing, and learning Torah is not one of his mitzvahs. Otherwise, that would be an 8th mitzvah.
Well,
So,
it's a law.
huh?
It's one of the law mitzvahs.
But there's not a mitzvah per se to learn the Torah. The Jew has that mitzvah.
How do we have any converts?
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I'll tell you 1 second. So he has not a mitzvah to learn Torah, and he says, I'm learning Torah. Does he have a mitzvah to say that? No. So therefore, how is he claiming to learn Torah? He's stealing the Torah.
Why do you have mitzvah for Geneva?
All the ships, you know.
All Sheva mitzvahs are chayav misa if they're over. Now, how many of you have ever heard of Lafib Shuto? Rashi brings Lafib Shuto, right? He's not bringing pshat. Lafib Shuto is the drasha, the drasha attached to something. Did he literally steal the Torah? No, it's a drasha. So already it's even lesser removed from like mamish killing the guy. It's already lesser b'yadei shemayim. It's already a drasha. So once it's removed into drasha, now we can talk about it, right? It's not so dogmatic. With me? So this is, I'm kind of going off my notes here, but we got a nice little framework. So then there's another dictum in the Talmud. One of them is in Bava Kama 38a. Yeah? A goy that learns Torah is like a kohen gadol. How many of you ever heard of that? It's a famous call. Now it sounds like a nice, cute little agadita, right? Yeah? That's halacha l'maisa. A lot of times in Sheva mitzvahs, remember I'm talking to you from the world of Bnei Noach. Imagine, like this goes on in my world here. You see what I'm saying? These kind of things go on every day in the world of Bnei Noach. Because you have people taking it ultra literally. I mean, it's like a fundamentalist religious discussion. You're dealing with ex-Christians. Right? So that's the mochin that they're in. And they want to know, am I really going to die if I do this? And then you have a lot of Jews who don't know from Borscht that are saying like, yeah, we're going to kill you if you come in here. So you see, it needs ironed out on the very most practical level. So then you have a goy that learns Torah is like a kohen gadol. Okay, now that is a halacha l'maisa. And I'll tell you where it's halacha l'maisa. We're going to do Sfarim here. You go to Rambam's here, I saw, right?
They're all back here.
So just hand out a bunch of Rambams. Hilchos Malachim.
Okay, everybody just get their own Rambam.
Yeah, get your own Rambam. Because we're going to refer to the Rambam a lot. Open up to Hilchos Malachim, Perek Yud, Halacha Tes, and Halacha Yud. Yud Tes and Yud Yud, Hilchos Malachim. Somebody want to go ahead and just read the opening, not the whole Halacha Tes?
Where are we?
Hilchos Malachim, Perek Yud, Halachas Tes and Yud, and read the first couple lines in Tes, and then read for me the first couple lines in Yud. And go slow and pause between, I'll explain. Start with Tes. Go ahead, someone read.
1176. Thank you. Yeah, Halacha Tes, you said?
Yeah,
Goyish, so you already...
loud. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Goyish Asik Torah Chayiv Misa.
So it's true. So first of all, where my personal journey, again, I'm going to interject a lot of different angles as we talk. My personal journey with this, like where it started for me, was I was teaching about Shem Bnei Noach. Stam, just because I lived in Sfat, and next to my apartment was the cave of Shem and Aver. So just random fact. There's a lot of things in the Masorah about Shem Bnei Noach. Interesting guy. So a lot of Noahides were wanting to hear what I had to say about Shem Bnei Noach for obvious reasons. Shem Bnei Noach. Online. So then, after teaching, I taught 34 classes on it, and there's a lot of great midrashim on Shem Bnei Noach. A lot of great stuff. That's for another topic, though. So after class, these Noahides, I didn't know them. The first thing they say to me, they say this to everybody. That's why I'm saying you're gonna get asked a question. You, as I say, I always have to bring my Texan students in. You can't not be asked a question. Right? They're gonna be asked a question. If you ever meet a Noahide and you are involved in Torah in any capacity, or you make it known that you are involved in Torah in any capacity, you will be asked the following two questions: can I keep Shabbos? Can I learn Torah? And you're going to be your 6-month smicha self. And what are you going to say? All in unison?
No.
And you're going to say, a goy that keeps Shabbos is chayav misa, right? You're all going to say it. I said it. He said it. He said it. Everybody says it. You can't not say it. But where you can be different, where I think I was a little bit different, I thought to myself, I've never actually seen it inside. Have any of you seen this inside till now?
In the Rambam?
Yeah. But like inside. Huh?
I haven't.
No. But deep. Have you gone into it? No. So that's what I'm saying. I maybe saw it, who knows, but not really like last night going into it, right? So you say to yourself, all right, let me at least be honest. As you can see, that's a big part of how I like to learn, right? Just at least be honest if you've learned something or not. Because you see, a lot of people are not. They will swear up and down, we are going to kill the goy who goes and does this, right? They'll swear on it. But it's not true. It's just not true. You got to look it up for the sake of intellectual honesty, for crying out loud. So then the question: Rabbi, can I learn Torah and keep Shabbos? You look up the Rambam. Go ahead and read it over again. The Halacha Tes.
Sure. Goy she'asak b'Torah chayiv misa. Lo yasok ela b'sheva mitzvos shalhem bilvad.
Okay. Now, do you sense? Again, I'm kind of like morphing in my brain how the shiur is going to go, but I like it. Can you hear some loaded terms in there? Can you sense the loaded terms? Huh? Remember, were you all in the shiur last night? Yeah. Okay, so remember the principles. Do you really think you know what those words mean? Yeah, what does asak mean? Don't tell me involved or invested in. That's English. You don't know what that means. Huh? What does it mean? To what level? Remember, this is taxonomy of Rabbanim. What do they mean? What do they mean by Isaac B'Torah? If I learn Bekias, am I Isaac? Not really.
I'm not sure.
Not really. It's dafka the opposite. Iyun and Isaac are kind of synonymous. So by definition, if you're not doing Iyun, you're not Isaac so much. So what is it? If he's not Isaac, can he learn if he's not Isaac?
Seems so.
It seems so. But what is Isaac? Then there are those out there that'll say, it's just a word. He just can't learn Torah, we kill the guy. Really? You don't think there's any Sfarim in here that mention what the explanation of the halacha is? Really? No one wrote about it? No one wanted to know what does Isaac mean? Really? Because guess what happens when you start looking all this stuff up? You start to find out it's all written about. So that means you don't have to make it up. You don't have to lie. You don't have to guess. It's called, when you look it up, you'll find out, man, there's a wealth and wealth of learning out there. So who cannot learn Torah? Who can't?
Go ahead.
What's a goy?
So someone who's not a Yisrael.
Which one? Read now the opening words in Halacha Yud.
Okay, Yud.
Yeah.
Ben Noach sheratza la'asos mitzvah mishar mitzvah Torah kidei lekabel safar ein monin oso la'asos oso kedokoso.
Is the Ben Noach a goy?
I would think so.
Huh?
I would think so.
The same guy?
I would think so.
What different language?
What's the particular type of goy?
It's one. Which kind of goy? And you just got done saying he can't learn Torah. Now you're saying he can do any of the mitzvahs of the Torah.
Yeah.
Is that a steer? He can't do this, but now he can do everything.
Well,
He can do the rest of the mitzvahs of the Torah says.
it says mishar mitzvah Torah. Yeah.
For the rest of the mitzvahs of the Torah.
Right. Not excluding Torah and Shabbat.
Is it? How do we know if it's excluding that?
Sure.
Yeah, but where do we know that is the mute?
It's an assumption.
So saying right. So I'm saying these inyanim are mapped out. There's a lot of, like the Brisker Rav's one of them, but there's a terrain here. This is not like the Wild West. But you see that there's a map. You see the map in front of you? There's a goy, there's a Ben Noach, there's Isaac, there's mitzvahs. What is schar? What is schar? What does reward mean? Remember, this is not your olam haba here. This is a goy learning Torah. What does it mean he can get schar? 99% of people are going to make that up and say it means reward. It doesn't mean that. The answer, by the way, for the mitzvahs he can do, are you guys Jews? Yes. So what kind of reward do you get?
Or for someone who's commanded.
Yeah, that's right. Mitzvah of Isaac, correct? So is a non-Jew mitzvah of Isaac?
No.
No. That's why he can do the mitzvahs, because he's not mitzvah of Isaac. So there's a whole different darga of what he can do. So he can do everything. But he's just not mitzvah of Isaac. So what's the problem? So now we can surmise, what if he thinks he is mitzvah of Isaac and he wants to learn Torah? Chayev Misa. Literally? No. Which way? Yidei Shemayim. For what? Geneva. Why? He's saying he's commanded and he's not. See the Makshava a little bit here?
But even if he says, if I say tomorrow that I'm not commanded any of the mitzvahs, does that make me not commanded?
You?
Yeah.
You're a Jew. You
Right.
cannot be uncommanded.
The same by non just because he thinks or he says that, oh, I'm commanded to do it, it doesn't make it true.
Exactly.
How's it stealing anything?
Right.
That's why it's a fib shoot though. That's why it's not literal. He didn't actually steal anything. Remember we said that. It's not he didn't. What did he steal?
What is he doing? He's confused. He thinks he's commanded, but he's not.
That's it. So that's why you went from we're going to kill you to really just don't do that. You see the difference? You see what I'm saying? We're going to kill you. But what did he really do? He said he's commanded. Well, I said I'm a lot of things. So when I was 5, I said I was Superman. I'm still here. So you see, it goes from very, very strict to ultimately it's strict, but it's not the same strict. That's called lafib shuta. Right? It's taking the oral element, but understanding the inyan. Yes, he is chayav misa, but it has nothing to do with you. It's between him and God. And just like if you guys lie to God, you're chayav misa too, on a certain level of Yidei Shemayim, right? If you walk around saying, I am the Navi Adorer, okay? No one's really going to kill you here, but is that really healthy for you to walk around saying that to everybody? I am the Navi Adorer, how are you? Right? It's not the best thing to say. Or you can say, I'm Jewish, but I'm not commanded. No, I'm not commanded to do anything. You're just going to look like an idiot. But it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything in reality, right? At least from the time when the Golos was those Sanhedrin, things like that, right? So the question, the bottom line with the Ben Noach particularly is and this is right the bottom of the line for the truth of it. He is not a Jew. The Torah, as we know it, is a map for the Jew to heal his soul, right? Aren't you when you're doing a Veda, or you say I'm not commanded? That's why I eat chazer. I'm not commanded. I'm different. Right? What are you really doing? You're hurting your soul. Right? You cannot uncommand yourself and eat chazer. You can't do that. The Torah exists because you have a soul. You have a Jewish soul. Jewish soul means Jewish souls don't eat pigs. They don't do that. It's just how the creation of the world is made. Right? Men don't wear high heels and women don't do whatever. It's just the way we're made. So the Ben Noach has a soul. I'm not getting into the distinction between what is a Jewish soul and a Goyish. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying that there's male and female. They're not the same, are they? Male and female. No. And a Korean is not a Japanese. They're not the same. Don't go up to a South African and say, I like your Australian accent. It's not the same. So the world has different people and different kinds of souls. Again, not to get Kabbalistic, it's a different Indian altogether. What we're saying is there's Jewish people have one way of observing mitzvahs in Torah, and non-Jews have another way of observing mitzvahs in Torah.
Right.
So for the non-Jew, he has 7 mitzvahs. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we look at the fact that they're Chai Misa B'Yeshinayim?
This is what I'm saying. For you, you're not stealing Torah. That's the brach of a Jew. He can go to any yeshiva in the world and say, hi, my name is Yaakov Goldstein. I'm here to learn Torah. Oh, come on, Yaakov, come learn Torah, right? The non-Jew, he now has a health aspect of his soul not to steal Torah. It's bad for him to steal Torah. So the Chai of Misa is if he's trying to break into the yeshiva and I'm going to figure out what the Jews do, that's bad for his soul. It's not how the Torah is makabel for him. So between him and God, he's not doing good. That's called Chai of Misa. It has nothing to do with you and executing him, right? But now, when he comes to you and says, I don't belong here, but I want you to teach me Torah. Again, we're obviously a fictitious way of saying this. Teach me Torah illicitly. You say no. I'm not going to ruin my soul, and I'm not going to hurt your soul. You got to do it the right way. Then what is the right way? You find out and you learn what the right way is. Otherwise, you're Chai of Misa, but again, not literal. So then you say with the people with the dogmatic approach, well, he can't learn Torah at all because he's Chai of Misa. A goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol, right? And that is a halachic fact. I mean, like the poskim use that as the raya. You saw halacha yud, correct?
Yeah.
And you saw halacha tes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, did the Rambam write those halachas?
Yeah.
No. Copy and paste. Where did halacha tes come from? Sanhedrin. So you see, one of the big things here, do we focus on the Rambam said he's Chai of Misa, we take it literally, from a logical standpoint, but if the Rambam copied and pasted it, can we all agree that he copied and pasted it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fact. He got that straight from the Gemara. So the question becomes, not what did the Rambam mean? Rambam didn't mean anything. What the Rambam meant was, where did he copy and paste it from, and what was going on from where he copied and pasted it, right? So the question becomes, what does it mean in Sanhedrin? Correct? Then we would say, Sanhedrin's not even the Makor. It's one of the Makor. But the main Makor, there's Bava Kama and Sanhedrin that talk about the whole, Goyler, Sorah, Chabisa, da da da. But the real Makor, in Piskei Halacha, it's the less words, the better. You want to get the absolute source. I know when I got my speaker test, that was what I got speaking from Zalman Chemia Goldberg. That's what he taught me. All right, I turned in a long test with a lot of svara and a lot of words, and I felt very good about myself. He said, this test is garbage. Why? Because you're supposed to your test should have, if it's 40 questions, your answer sheet should be 40 words. Just tell me where it says it. That's really what the answers are. So the answer is, can a non-Jew learn Torah? The answer is Chagiga 13a. That's what you would answer on your test. And then if you want to be really special, you'd say C. Marsha. Because that kind of summarizes the whole deal. So why am I saying like this? Because you take all that stuff, the Rambam, Sanhedrin, Baba Kama, all that sugya, and pack it down to Chagiga 13a. We can look it up if you want to, but for the sake of time and space, it says you don't teach an akum sitre Torah. That's like the bottom line. You hear the bottom line? So now it goes back to just like last night. Which goy? Turns out it's an akum. What's an akum?
One with the wrong ideas. Again, is this not holding of the revision theory that originally was?
No revision, because again, there's a reason why they used the term, even though it was revised. Meaning the pre-revised, you're going to run into the same concept, the same guy. One word's just nicer than the other. You understand what I'm saying? Same word.
So what is Citrate?
So that's one of our buzzwords. You see how it's all loaded with buzzwords. What is Citrate Torah? I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. It's Kabbalah. So that the etzim of can a non-Jew learn Torah? Again, read it in the Rambam, how it comes out in the halacha, just like last night in the Mishnah Berurah. Right. So this is the beautiful craftsmanship of the Rambam. You see, he changed it a little bit from the Talmud, right? Copy paste, but a little bit. Why did he add whatever the lashon was by the 7 laws? Right. So that is not the Rambam's opinion. That is no one's opinion. That is again another copy and paste. Baba Kama says a goy that learns Torah is chayav misa, but I thought a goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol. And what does it say? But they can learn their Sheva mitzvahs. So now the big question is, they can learn the 7 laws, but they can't learn Kabbalah. Sitrei Torah, everybody says, is Kabbalah. So now what's the question? Can I teach them Kabbalah, and them is an akum? Can I teach an akum Kabbalah while he is in a mutter way learning 7 laws?
How would be mutter to teach someone if you hold this the Kabbalah?
I said that's the question. I said that was the question. And the answer is no. Huh?
If the answer was Sitrei Torah is Kabbalah, why would you question it? It seems.
Because in Chagiga, they're asking not if he can learn Torah 7 laws, they're only asking can he learn Kabbalah. That's the question from Chagiga. That's why I told you that's the Iker source. You see what I'm saying?
Why even question if it's mutter when you just automatically say it's usher?
No, it is usher. They can't learn Kabbalah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Kabbalah?
What is Kabbalah? Great question. Chagiga deals with that also. In that same sugya, it asks the question, what is Kabbalah? Is it Ma'aseh Bereshis? Is it Ma'aseh Merkava? What is it? Tamei mitzvahs? So this is like now. You guys realize now that we're in the sugya? You feel it? This is like really in the sugya. And the good news about it is there's no simple answers. The good news about it is also that the answers are prominent and prevalent everywhere. With a little bit of research and knowing where to look a little bit, you can get all these answers. And I can, over time, God willing, we'll teach it, right? But you see, all these terms are just loaded buzzwords. What is Isaac? What is Goy? What is Bnei Noach? What is Kabbalah? What is Sheva Mitzvahs? It's a Geshmak Sugya, lo? So now, when you start to look at it, again, let's kind of like oscillate back and forth. The Goy comes in. He asks his rabbi friend, can I learn Torah? What's the 6-month smicha answer?
No.
A Goy learns Torah is chayav misa. Is that true now in any way, shape, or form? Just in the logistics alone. Is it that simple to say you're chayav misa?
It's not that simple.
Huh?
It's not that simple.
Not even remotely. I don't know what Torah is. I don't know what kind of Goy you are. I don't know what you want to learn. There's so many questions that go into it. And it's not to be intimidating. Like, wow, there's so many questions we can't know. No, you can know. And you're supposed to know. But there's a lot of questions. A guy comes in here and wants to daven, and he never davened before. I know when I first walked in yeshiva, what's the first question they asked me? What nusach do you daven? Right? It's not so simple. You can't just daven. Everybody's going to ask you, what nusach do you daven? You got to know. And then as a Cohen, I used to, I don't always like being bothered. But what's the question they're always going to ask you? Are you Cohen? Now I know that you're going to bother me for an aliyah when I don't necessarily want an aliyah. So now I got to pay attention. And then so then the complexity is not to intimidate or block. It's to make you aware that there's a bigger picture going on. And the same dichotomy exists everywhere in learning. Like this is the essence of learning Iyun. Not to look bad on Bekias, but this is like the thing that Bekias lacks. And that's just the nature of Bekias. But don't think that it's all about Bekias and that's okay and we don't really have to know anything. Because you have to at least be aware of both. You don't have to be master of both, but they both exist. All right, so I think I'll give you a good hakana there. Where are we at with time? What's that?
23 minutes.
23 more minutes? Yeah. Okay, so now let's look in that Rambam. 10:9, 10:10.
Yeah.
I just think where I want to go with this for a second here. Let's just go quick Chazara. All right, 10:9, right? We got a goy that learns Torah is Chayav Misa. A goy that keeps Shabbos is Chayav Misa.
Right.
Copied and pasted from at least Bava Kama, Sanhedrin, and the basis of the halacha is from Chagiga. Yeah? The Rambam, the very next halacha in 10:10, looks like it's going to challenge the status quo, at least a little bit, right? Why he changed the Lashon, I don't exactly know, because he invented the Lashon. I'm not the Rambam, I can't know. But he's basing it on a goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol. Otherwise, how else can they do it? And then the sugya of a goy that learns is like a Kohen Gadol. One of the other makor of this sugya is Avodah Zorah, Beis Amud Beis and Gimel Amud Aleph. And it says the whole thing again. Can a goy learn Torah? Da 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 da. He does. He's like a Kohen Gadol. And there they say, what schar does he get? Okay, he can do all the mitzvahs. Is he a Jew? What's his schar? What's the answer? He does mitzvahs like someone not commanded and does, and not like someone who is commanded and does. So you see the Rambam's grabbing from a bunch of different places and putting that halacha together, and now 10:10 makes a lot more sense.
From the Rambam's wording, though, it doesn't seem like he's excluding Kabbalah is what they can't learn and everything else they can. It seems like they, let's say going to Ian.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That where he says the 7 laws, that is the miyut. Because all the Meforshim on the Sugya will make that same exact chiluk. You can learn 7 laws, but you can't learn Kabbalah.
So you're saying there's 7 laws and then there's Kabbalah?
Yes.
That doesn't make much sense.
Why?
There's a lot more than 7 laws to the Ian.
No, they have their 7 laws.
I know, I'm saying they're still connected. But can they do Ian and,
So that's when the Sugya gets tremendously geschmack. When you go now, that's the question you have to ask. So then you start saying, okay, they're learning their 7. So what does that mean? Right? Basically, can they learn deep and Isaac deep in their 7? Is that the question?
No, that seems that they can, but
Yeah.
But not Kabbalah. Let's say they're going to Kudshim, or let's say it's Vav.
Yeah. You're asking, can they learn the rest of Torah?
But it's not Kabbalah. That's just
Right, but again, the question is, can they learn Torah?
Right. It seems from the Rambam that they couldn't. It seems only Shemitz been not Shah.
Right. So this is a great shot. You don't know this. Ready? This is I think this is the Marshah's shot. Again, when I said the Marshah, everybody agrees on the sugya. It's not like this is him, this is him. Each one, each Rishon and Achron brings an element to the sugya, but when you look at the whole sugya, you see that they're all on the same page. Right? So here's the answer. Right? Dafka Kudshim Zvachim. Yeah? Want to know the answer? Why is he like a Kohen Gadol? Because he does more mitzvahs than the 7. Like a Kohen's got more mitzvahs than a Jew. Right?
He has more mitzvahs than the 7.
Well, he does more than 7. Huh?
What do you mean? He's a Kabbalah the mitzvah, so therefore.
Wait, a goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol.
I don't know.
Hold on, bear with me. A goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol. Right?
Right.
A Stamazoi, goy that doesn't learn Torah, only does the 7.
Right.
So a goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol because he does more than 7. What does he do more than 7? He can make an Ola. Today even, they can make an Ola. So there's your Zvachim and Kachim, and now they have to learn Torah in order to do it, and they can do more than 7.
What about Gene Moments?
They have Dina moments.
What is it?
They have Dina
No,
moments.
that's my example. What about something, let's say, like Rosh Hashanah?
Torah.
Listen to Shofar.
So this is the deal. So this is the main deal. Ready? Yeah.
No, sorry. It's not that they can be osek and kachim, but they could do it. There's a difference.
So let me explain it. You're all asking the same question, okay? You might not realize that, but let me answer the question. You are all asking the same question. Ready? You guys are Jews, and you are in yeshiva, and you learn Torah, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody learn something today that you're never going to do ever in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Judaism. We have a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, which means, again, I'm talking rabbinically here. This is not hashkafa. Right? This is like rabbinic and how you approach it. Remember, because the Noahides, they're not asking hashkafically. They're asking like rabbinically. Jews just don't think that way. But it doesn't mean that we don't have Masorah for that. So you all learn things that you're never going to do. So therefore, technically, you learned it theoretically, correct?
Right.
And God gave the Torah to Am Yisrael. So therefore, you get schar. For mitzvahs Talmud Torah. And Talmud Torah means that you're going to learn and you're not going to necessarily do, even though you're commanded in doing. Meaning, mitzvahs Talmud Torah is not talui in doing, correct?
Right.
Noahide's the exact opposite. This is why I'm telling you, his soul requires different things than yours. You don't need to do the zvachim that you learned about today. Your soul doesn't require you to do it. You got a geschmack just by understanding the Indian and the lumdis and the chachma. Yeah? When he does it, he can't sit down in Idaho and say, I'm going to learn about zvachim today because I'm like a Kohen Gadol and I can do more than 7. What he has to do, there's a prescription, he's going to say, man, you know what? The Rambam says that I can make a korban ola. And they can. That's halach l'mais in the Rambam. Huh?
Where is that?
Not here. It's somewhere else in the Rambam. I can get you the source. They can make a korban ola. Actually, it says it there. Read in 10. Read in 10. They can do an ola. Yeah. They can do an ola. Now, you can't. You guys cannot do an ola.
Yeah, you can do the old.
Right. You cannot do an ola.
Yeah, it's only it's not. I mean, it's in the Makabah in a minute. It doesn't mean that the Kohen will do the shechita.
No. Hold on. You today cannot make an ola. They can. Because you are bound by the base of Mikdash. The goy can make a field altar and make an ola. Mamish. So now he has to learn our Torah to find out how to do it.
There's halachas for make an ola.
Yes. Yeah. Now, he can either learn it by himself, which you say that it's a makel point of view. Makel's not necessarily bad here. It just means that there are other more machmir shitas, which is you, then it's preferable you, the Jew, teach him how to do it. You can't do the ola, but you can teach him how to do the ola. So now he's only has a reason to sit with you and be Isaac for the sake that he's going to then go in the field and make an altar and do an ola. So now is he not like a Kohen Gadol? He did more than 7. The Stamazoi Noachide is not going to do more than 7. He has 7 mitzvahs, and he's not interested in learning Torah. He's not interested in doing things like that. This one is different. He wants to learn Torah, but he's got to do it lefi maisa. He's got lefi a din.
She's saying if he's Makabah on the mitzvah, it's a matzah limud.
Yeah, but he's got to do lefi the mitzvah, and it can't be theoretical. He's got to actually mamish do it. Then he can learn the Torah on that inyan, even ba'osik. Preferably not alone, but he can. He technically can learn it alone. What he cannot do, and again, remember how we said in Chagiga 13a, it's like bottom line? This is like the bottom line. Bottom line is, well, you, let's say, have a machlekes, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael, making this up, in Zvachim, right? Remember that sugya? Where blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. He cannot then open up a yeshiva in Idaho and say, we Noahites resolved the machlekes. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. We are not samach on your chedushim in learning Torah. Why? Because Ikar Din, we have a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, and you do not. You don't have a mitzvah of Talmud Torah, therefore you can resolve Torah. See the difference? Yeah? So now we see what you're saying is, can they do more? A goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol. All of a sudden, it's not an agaditic little thing, is it? It's mamish real thing. It's a real dictum. It's real. A lot of things. There's like I don't know if there's a proper term for this. I call it this midrash halacha, like the Sifri and all that. I call it what do I call it? Agadita halacha. Right. A lot of times with I don't know about all areas of Torah, but with Bnei Noach, a lot of agadita actually is halacha for them. Like harsh like thorns are gerim on Israel. Right. That's halacha l'maisa in the Rambam. Mamish halacha. That to like basically, I mean, there's many ways of taking it, but to proselytize, right? You can't proselytize because you'll make bad gerim, whether ger toshav or converts, right? So I mean, we read that, and then the very next passage, like in Yevamos, is like, and that's why the gerim are preventing the coming of the Mashiach, and it's like, oh, that's a great agadita, thank you, but the dictum itself is halachic. We just don't think that way. Because a lot of the things that Jews do in halacha don't come from agadita. They just don't. But the Bnei Noach, a lot of the controversy in that world is, why are you teaching them halacha, agadita and midrash? And the answer is, when you get into the poskim and the Masorah itself, a lot of their chaimer comes from agadita and midrash. Halachically. I mean, it's really strange. It's not a normal way of looking at it. So they can do more than the 7. They can be oisik. That's why they're like a kohen gadol. And then, again, the most makel shita. Again, makel not meaning like we say makel. I mean, it's not dodgy. It's just the least reinforced, right? Is that they can learn Kabbalah on their 7 and the mitzvahs they do. So what they cannot learn Kabbalah on, is the theoretical Torah that we learn. Go ahead, yeah.
Just wondering, where are you calling it Kabbalah?
What's that?
I said, where are you calling it Kabbalah?
Question on tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Why am I calling what Kabbalah?
What's the issue for them to learn?
Yeah, that's the Gemara's only question.
Okay.
Nigla, they don't care. No one cares. Go learn Nigla. Have fun. So, but then if you give them Nigla, even though they're not Chayev Misa. Again, what does it mean Chayev Misa? And we go round and round again. But really, it should be Taloi in the dinim that they're doing. Now, if it's not Taloi in the dinim, and they're looking to just learn Stam Torah, it's not incredibly bad. There's a more preferable way. I mean, we know there's Lech Achila and Bedi Yevid, is there not? So in their world also, there's a Lech Achila way of learning Torah and a Bedi Yevid way of learning Torah. And what's the klal? A goy that learns Torah is Chayev Misa. So that's the klal. Now, do you want to be stuck on that klal, or do you want to get over that klal? That's what you and them would have to ask themselves. So if I want to be like sloppy in my learning, you're gonna find out a goy that learns Torah is Chayev Misa. People are gonna tell you that. But if you know the klalim and what it means and how to do it in the prescripted way, I mean, don't go to Idaho and open up your yeshiva for a bunch of non-Jews and say, well, we're within the scope of the law. Technically, but you know that no one's going to say it's okay, even though it is okay. You're just going to create controversy for yourself. So the more you're within just a healthy framework, why do you want to dafka learn not with a Jew that has a mitzvah to teach it in the parameters of the halakha? Why? You know, I can this year on Purim, I was checking out the halachas of Megillah. Like the most Bedi Evid, you can learn a Chumash at home. But, I mean, that's like the most Bedi Evid. No one's saying go and do that, right? So why would you do the most Bedi Evid thing? No, that's not what Bedi Evid is. It's not saying I want to do the least amount so I can do the least amount. There's a reason why Lechachil is Lechachil and Bedi Evid is Bedi Evid. There's Shas Harachak. There's a prescribed way of doing things. And the Meforshim on this have their prescribed way. But the klal starts with a goy that learns Torah's Chayav Misa. But that's a starting goal. It's not the end result. Because we see it's just clearly not. No one makes that the final resolution. Certainly not to kill the guy. No one ever. You see now how it's ridiculous. No one ever said that. Mm-hmm. So then it gets their world and how they think is built on these principles. And the Torah Shabbal Peh ironically contains all these answers. The reason why you've never seen it is because you choose not to look at it. How many of you have ever learned, blah, 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 it's great to be Jewish, and Rabbi Akiva is a great Jew, and hey, that Roman emperor, the Akum, isn't that where you close your eyes and say, okay, skim over that part? Right? When it gets to Akum and Goy and Nachri and the Roman emperor, Antoninus, and he was, usually people just aren't interested in that. And there's a lot of elements in the Torah that are not Jewish. A lot. And we've all seen it. I know you've seen a goy that learns Torah is like a Kohen Gadol. We've all seen it. But did you look it up? Did you go Eon and say, what does that really mean? Generally not. Most people haven't. And the Chiddush, and it's a beautiful Chiddush, is that underneath all those Makaros, there's a huge, parallel universe of Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach out there. That's why the Brisker Rav and the Brisker Shita gets into it. Because they get into random things, right? Zvachim and all these things, yeah? Right. So,
Uncharted waters.
Huh?
Uncharted waters.
That's it. That Ger Toshav is like the king of the uncharted territory. There's just an amazing thing. So I'll tell you, how much time we got?
That's 7 minutes till 6:30, which is good.
Yeah. All right, so we'll close on this note. To give like a little Brisker Vort here. So where Brisk jumps into the Sugya, go ahead and turn it to Perek Ches, Hilchos Malachim, Halachas Yud and Yud Aleph. Yeah, read it loud. Read both those halachas loud and slow.
Okay. Moshe Rabbeinu lo hinchil haTorah v'mitzvos elo leYisrael. Shnei Amar Morasha Hilas Yaakov. ובו הרוצה להסגייר משאר האומות, שנאמר, חכם כגר, אבל מי שלא רצה, אין כופן עושו לקבל תורה ומצוות. וכן ציווה משה רבנו, לפי הגבורה, לכוף את כל באי העולם לקבל כל מצוות שנצווה נוח, וכל מי שלא קיבל יהרג. והמקבל עושן הוא הנקרא גר תושב, בכל מקום, וצריך לקבל עליו בפני שלושה חברים. וכל המקבל עליו למול ועברו עליו 12 חודש ולא מול, הרי זה כמין שבגלמוס. כל המקבל 7 המצוות ונזהר לעשותן, הרי זה מחסידי אומות העולם. ויש לחלק לעולם הבא, ויש לו לחלק לעולם הבא, הוא שיקבל אותן ויעשה אותן לפי שציווה בהן הקדוש ברוך הוא בתורה. והודיענו על ידי משה רבנו שבני נוח מקודם נסתבו בהן. אבל אם עשיין בפני אחרי הדס, אין זה גר תושב ואינו מחסידי אומות העולם, אלא ולא מדינת ולא נחף מהם.
Yeah, that is the most apropos Chomer in the Noahide world. Right? I mean, like real Noahide world, like Lumdis, Rabbanim, Shita, like all these things. Because that gets rid of all the things that are not Shaykh. Right? That is not Noahide. At all. Noahide is a tradition, an English word, what you call non-Jews that you meet in the street and they do blah, blah, blah. This is already where it's like real stuff. Now, what do I mean by real stuff? Yeah?
Question on the word. What was the end there?
I believe in not killing people, therefore I'm a Noahide. No, you're not.
Not because Moshe Rabbeinu commanded
Right. Right. So this is where the Brisker Rav starts. So the Indian here, and there's a lot to be said about this. This is not exhaustive by any means. A Noahide is a non-Jew who just whatever words you want to put in there keeps 7 laws. Remember, it's all in English. No one looked it up. They're not quoting anything. And then we little funny hats, little T-shirts that were Noahides, and we keep 7 laws, right? The Brisker Rav is coming in. This is from Avodah Zorah, Beis on Beis, and Gimel Amud Aleph. They have to have Kabbalah. And we're not talking, again, the Kabbalah we were talking about before. The entire Sugya is that at Mount Sinai, the nations of the world that had a tradition of 7 laws, their schar was removed from them. If you want to, in your own spare time, look it up in Avodah Zorah, Beis on Beis, Gimel Amud Aleph. Their schar mitzvahs was removed. Meaning they used to get reward before Sinai for doing the 7 mitzvahs. And that was their Kiyum Olam. Once Sinai came, Moshe Rabbeinu got the tradition. Now they are not commanded in doing. Lo mitzvah v'osei. And Klal Yisrael became mitzvah v'osei and Taryag mitzvahs. So their entire avoda is to get back on the madrega of mitzvah v'osei. You're going to tell me they're not mitzvah v'osei. They're not mitzvah v'osei in Taryag mitzvahs. But in Sheva mitzvahs, they are to become mitzvah v'osei. How do they become mitzvah v'osei? Commanded in doing in their 7 mitzvahs. That's what the Rambam's bringing you here, is that prescription. So when you hear, and you'll hear it, there's no Ger Toshav today. That is not this Ger Toshav. That's like living in the land of Israel. Do I have a mitzvah to sustain the non-idolater who's building my marpeset? No, you don't have that mitzvah. It's not as man yovo noyeg. That's not the same Ger Toshav. This is why Brisker Rav, Sfei Dinim, beautiful place of Sfei Dinim. So what is the Ger Toshav here? Kabbalah. We're not talking mysticism. We're talking Kabbalah. I state your name, have accepted the 7 laws. So once they have removed the Avodah Zorah, right? I was a Christian. Then I was a Noahide. Then I was so Noahide that I wasn't even an idolater, right? So that guy, that's in Avodah Zorah 64b. There's a brisa, the main makor of Ger Toshav. 4 kinds of Ger Toshav. One who doesn't serve idols. Another one who keeps the 7 laws. Another one who eats the vela. And another one who can be miyachid with your wine. No, it is not yayin nesach. A goy can touch your wine. Which goy can touch your wine? The one who is not an idolater. But we don't require Kabbalah. We don't say, I, Bob, state your name to touch the wine or be miyachid with your wine. But the Rambam's saying, which Ger Toshav, which level, how does he become like kosher? Like standard, acceptable kosher? And the answer is he's got to take Kabbalah. So the Chassid Amos Olam, the Noahide Chassid, why is he called a Chassid? By his own volition, Mistama in the prescribed way, according to Moshe Rabbeinu, he has removed the Avodah Zorah. I'm a non-idolatrous goy. The Rambam says that guy is called a Chassid Amos Olam.
What special dinner apply to him?
Yes, but not all.
Which ones do apply to him?
To him,
Yeah.
he can touch your wine. So now the madregas start. I want to do more than just be mayachid with your wine. I want to not be shaykh for a Shabbos goy. Fair enough, right? It's the Shita Krisis 9a, the Shita the Rashba, many others. I want to remove myself from the Shabbos goy world. How does he do it? He has Kabbalah. Preferably, as the Rambam will say, before Gimel Chaverim, he's going to come, and this is Chal even today. This is the sheet of the Brisker Rav. Brisker Rav actually says this is his chiyuv. He has to remove shituf. And this is the point that where there's a contention, do they have to? Now, no one says they can't. It's only a question of do they have to or should they. But if you remove that out of the way, do you have to or should you, and you get into can you, well then there's nothing telling him not to. So why not encourage, and this is how the halacha works, once they're chasidom olam, there's a mitzvah to make gerim, like Avram and Sarah, which is different than proselytizing. Proselytizing is come be Jewish. We don't do that. But the chasidom olam, who has removed the Avodah Zarah, it is encouraged to bring him to Kabbalah, not mysticism, personal oath, and to say, remove shituf. Because it's one thing to remove Avodah Zarah like a goy. I stopped believing in gods. But Klal Yisrael at Sinai has a different level of Avodah Zarah. Right? We have a different rejection of Avodah Zarah than the Noahide. Why? We don't have shituf, do we? Right? Rabbis can't be gods in Judaism. So the Noahide can elevate and say, not only do I reject other gods, because shituf is allowed in Noahide. You're allowed to have a partnership with God. It's not illegal. But he's allowed to go beyond that. He can say, I've removed shituf. So when he's done that, one of the most Nogeya things is Shabbos Koy. That's Mishnah Berurah 304. 24. You can see it inside. He is not a Shabbos Goy. And also Rav Kanievsky and Shona Halachas. He is categorically different than a Goy. And what does Rav Kanievsky bring for the dichotomy? Rambam 10:9. A Goy that keeps Shabbos is Chayav Misa. Which is to say, what is different than a Ger Toshav. And a Ger Toshav that has Kabbalah. And he can have Kabbalah today. Then we would say, but what about Jubilee? Everyone brings the Rambam where we say there's Jubilee. Svei Dinim Briskarav, there's two kinds of Kabbalah. There's Kabbalah with the beis din that gives you the Deraisa, and there's another Kabbalah with beis din, not the Deraisa, which is to remove Shituf, to make you make kosher Chasid Omos. Is that on time?